Hey, it's Sean from We Like Shooting, and today I'm going to talk to you about this, which is Iron Horse Firearms TOR 1. It's that thumb-operated AR that you may have heard about at SHOT Show. So to kick it off, I want to start this video just by saying that this is a prototype. They sent us this rifle. This grip is actually 3D printed. This is the original grip that they sent, and this is much closer to the one that will actually be shipped with the production rifles, which come out very, very soon here. So this one you can see is a lot thinner than this one is, and definitely a lot more comfortable. So it is 3D printed. We literally broke it pretty much the first day we got it. Felt pretty bad about it, so they sent us one of the older versions because it's bigger because of the 3D printing, and it was definitely going to hold up a lot better. The production model is actually going to ship with a nice milled aluminum that's more in the profile of this one, which is eons more comfortable than the other. So first off, I want to talk to you about what is different on this rifle. So as you notice on the receiver here, there's actually no trigger pocket. It's a completely different receiver that's milled in-house by them to their specs to fit their trigger system. Here's the interesting part. It's thumb operated. So because there is no trigger pocket, no trigger here, the trigger is actually housed in the rear of the grip, which you can see here. The safety is actually a bit different as well, and what you'll see is this safety moves back and forth, forward being fire, rear being safe. We found it to be pretty dang intuitive. This is different. A lot of people want innovation in the industry, but when they see it, they just completely poo-poo it and get all over it. One of the reasons that I like it is I like to see things that are different because we see a lot of the same stuff come out. Now, seeing the same stuff is great. I love it, you love it, we all love it, but seeing something like this that kind of changes the paradigm is also extremely interesting. We've had it out at the range a few times, and again, this being a prototype, we didn't expect it to work 100% right out of the box, but it actually gave us some pretty good operation. I put it in the hands of several different people, pretty much to a person. Everyone was surprised at how natural it felt in your hand and how natural that thumb going in there was. Which brings me to one of the only cons that I can think of, and it's really a training issue, it's not a fault of this at all, is that I found myself, as I would clear malfunctions or do anything else, that I would leave my thumb in here but back off of the trigger. And I don't think that's a safe way to do it. I can come back off the trigger, but if my thumb moves forward at all, I'm right back on the trigger. So what I really need to do is pull my thumb out of there, and I would have to get into the habit of that. But just like everything else that we learn, you can quickly break those habits and learn the actual movements that you would want to without a whole lot of effort on your part. This is the TOR 1. It's going to be similar to this, won't have the cool fancy paint job. I think the stock is different for the stock model on their website, but it's going to come in at about $1,450. So what you have is this thumb-fired, thumb-operated AR receiver, and comes as this entire rifle, minus the optic, of course, and it comes for a pretty decent price. You're getting pretty good quality, aero precision on a lot of the parts, and I gotta say, I'm kind of a fan. Will it replace every single thing that I have? I don't necessarily know, but is it something else to have in the arsenal as part of everything else? And can I run this and gun with this just as good as I can any other AR? I think the answer to that is actually yes. So who benefits from this? What problems does it solve? And who is the person that is going to buy this rifle? I can think of a few applications right off the top of my head. So first off, disabilities. People, I heard that the index finger, like 60,000 people lose their index finger every single year. That is an uncorroborated statistic, but that's the number that I heard. So I thought that was kind of interesting, and that you lose that index finger, that makes a lot of sense to me. Arthritis, the thumb is our strongest digit, so being able to use that when maybe the fingers just don't have the strength that they once did. Our friend Mike was a combat wounded veteran, part of an EOD deployment, missing some digits on one hand, and he's got some weakness because of just the damage that was done to the other hand. One of the most awesome shooters I know, instructor, and really is not hindered by that loss at all. But he found it intuitive, as did the rest of us. The motion and movement of the trigger is actually extremely easy. The trigger is really a good trigger by all accounts. You know, we look for no pre-travel, no over-travel, no creep, nice crisp brake, audible and tactile reset. Like, those are the things that people harp on when they want it. And the trigger has it all. It's a different trigger shape, but internally, a lot of the parts are actually very similar. There's definitely some engineering stuff that they had to overcome, but all in all, it's still a trigger in an AR-15. So having had the opportunity to spend time with this prototype, I gotta say, they really did a good job. I've talked a lot to Ryan, who's been my contact over at Iron Horse Firearms. He was actually on our show, We Like Shooting. You can check that out. And we talked about it a lot in the applications and everything else that goes along with that. One thing I didn't mention is that long range could be a possible application of this. By moving that lateral side-to-side movement, you would, in theory, be more accurate. We didn't get a chance to actually do that this time, but we do have another rifle on the way. I have to get their prototype back to them so they can send it to some other people. So it's comfortable, it's intuitive, and it is the innovation that everyone is requesting. It's not unheard of. There are machine guns that are thumb fired, so it's not as foreign as you may think. And I think for the price, $1,450, which is what they're gonna launch, and I think, like I said, they're coming out any day now. I do like it. I like the company, I like the gun. There were no big, huge, glaring problems that I could see, and everyone that picked it up thought, hey, this feels really natural, and you know, that says a lot to me. I wasn't expecting them to tell me everything I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear the good and the bad, and just about everyone who picked it up had really, really good things to say. There were a couple people who were just indifferent, and I'm totally fine with that. I totally get it. But good AR, different thinking. This grip is actually extremely comfortable, and this will be the one that comes out when they go to production. And I can't say, you know, enough good stuff about the guys there and the guys that I've had contact with. Good dudes, totally like what they're doing. And the thumb operated receiver, it might have something to it. So we'll have another one in-house very soon, and we'll spend a lot more time with that one in depth. This is just kind of our initial brief overview. We took it to the range, we broke it, we had to wait for the grip to be shipped back, so we definitely ran into some time crunch. But initial assessment is it's good. I like it. The people I let shoot it like it, and we hope you'll like it too. So go check them out, Iron Horse Firearms. You can find out more about the TOR. And you know, if you're watching this video, like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Ring that bell if you want to be notified about every single thing that we do. Thanks for checking out We Like Shooting. Check out our podcast. It's on the Firearms Radio Network. And as we always say, guys, thanks for watching, and shoot straight.